Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining me again today for another session of Me Programming Daily. I hope you have your coffee or your tea or drink of choice ready. And today I'll be continuing my work on drakon renderer. We don't need this, do we? And I plan to focus on finally transitioning from these list of pairs of tuples to the list of IDs, if time allows. But before we can do that, we need a reliable way of fishing out skewer blocks by ID from a data structure. So at the moment, this drakon diagram data structure is not doing me any favors when it comes to searching for a skewer block by ID, simply because it looks deceivingly simple, but let's not forget it's really a tree, because a skewer block can contain its own skewer blocks if it's a fork. So I think what would make sense is to close it all down and to represent these skewer blocks not as a list with potentially nested iterations of skewer blocks. We could represent it as just a map. So this is what I'm planning to do today. I represent this as a map so that it's easy to fish those individual skewer blocks out by their IDs. And this will probably cast a new light on the whole type of skewer block in a drakon diagram, and things will probably change again still, but that's fine. We can live with that. So after a sip of nice coffee, let's just start the development environment. Whenever it's ready. Oh, yeah. Here, let's look for a reliable map. I think I've already used it, and I think I should still have containers here. Yes. So where we have the implementation of render, I think what would make sense is to also have a function responsible for projecting skewer blocks to a map. I think it would be here in the helper diagrams or in constants. Let's see. Where was this? Oh, this whole change origin thing. It's just a temporary thing. I shouldn't be needing, I shouldn't be needing to do this. So what I'm trying to do now is to find a good place to put that translation of skewer block to a map where, oh yeah, perfect, yes. Thanks, Copilot. This is exactly what I needed. This sort of translation I need before the rendering happens. So I think the whole process of rendering is started here, and diagram is a result of a parse. So right now, what happens, I'm just thinking out loud now. What happens now is this function render is responsible for, oh, this is good, for taking these drakon diagrams and returning a diagram. But what it also does, this is pseudocode by the way, but what it also does in between is it positions and it should also generate IDs, generate a map. So it nearly feels like we should position rendered skewer blocks. This is the render prime. Which comes from here. You know what? Let me think about it for a little minute, and before that happens, let's do a little bit of a warm-up cleanup. So, do we need to be? Yes, we do. Preload. We need that. We also need v2, I believe. Yes. Constants. Let's import something. Wrong. Now let's leave this as it is. Let's also fix this file. We don't need this. Okay. It looks like we have cleaned up these two files. Let's format. And having warmed up, I can generate that map now. That's nice, but it's not exactly what we need. We need data map. And here. Oh, can it return empty? Let's see. Just empty. Okay. So we need to call that toMap. After we have rendered the diagram, rendered additional connections. This is us. So that map should be here. If we go to main, do we have access to those skewer blocks? I hope we do. Parse returns a drakon diagram. A drakon diagram is nothing else but a title, skewer blocks, and terminator, and those additional connections. Oh no, forget it. So now we get an empty map here. Oh, that returns a tuple, so we need something like this. Oh, of course. Because that returns a diagram. Let's see. So, okay. The reason for my hesitation is I was just deeply lost in thought. Okay, so, but now I think I have an idea where to put this toMap function. See, the render function accepts positioned skewer blocks where the change origin is applied. Meaning that once we change the origin, that position skewer block only exists in the scope of the render function call, and we can't do much with it afterwards. You can't convert it to a map. So what I'm thinking is that we need to change this type class to accept position skewer blocks. And this is very general. So let's do this. We'll need to change the types a little bit again so that the skewer block does not contain its origin. We'll need another type that will contain that. So it should look something like this. So we don't have to do change origin. But even if we do that, we will still be faced with the same problem of, okay, I'm getting this positioned skewer block. But how do I convert it to a map? Or how do I convert the list of skewer blocks to a map? Okay, but let's do it anyway. Thus, rendered additional connections will have to be will have to take place after this render is called. So the render function will have to accept not only a list of skewer blocks or a drakon diagram, it will also have to accept a map of skewer blocks. And the end terminator. So let's take a note of that. A diagram and this is just temporary before I figure out the actual types to be used. Okay, but before that happens, let's implement toMap. So this seems to be a good starting point. So before this is called, the skewer looks so it will be like position render with and also and now we have to add ID to questions so that they're uniform. This will take a little bit of time. Let's see how we use this. Now let's ignore it, we don't need it. We don't need it. No, we don't need this. Oh yeah. So I need this, sorry. Nine, 7. So the question ID will become the fork ID. Skewer block 50. What we currently have is definitely an overgrown list of lines and types and functions. It will all get significantly simplified once I figure out the connections. I feel the skewer blocks are not represented exactly how they could be. Terminators are also not exactly how they could be. But yesterday I sort of gave out a spoiler that I'm thinking of a simplified maybe approach to drawing these diagrams. Something that is not exactly drakon, but follows drakon rules. I just don't feel drakon is the perfect candidate for being translated to very compact, very easy to digest types. I just feel it all can be vastly simplified if presented with some clever types. But we'll see. More about that soon. So line 15. $32. Yeah, we don't need toMap yet. So how is our toMap doing? Okay. we need a function that extracts the ID. We don't need this here. We need it in the toMap implementation here. And the value is the single block. No. So origin, content, and then two more. Oh, this goes last. Skewer blocks is this hole, which I decided to ignore for some reason. We can reduce it. Insert. Oh. This is because I'm returning an ID. Okay, let's see if we can implement ORD for IDs. So in my mind, ID is the string. It's not. It's its own type. That should be pretty simple. And finally, min-max. That's a good suggestion. No equality. Okay. Perfect. So I don't think we'll implement everything that I wanted to implement today, meaning we won't be looking up skewer blocks by their IDs in the render function. There needs to be some deeper restructuring there. But at the very least, we should be able to construct a map out of position skewer blocks. So just to test this quickly, let's instead of printing the diagram, let's do toMap. And here we have and these pairs we can ignore. This we can also ignore. This we can also ignore. And here we have the skewers. Two skewers. Okay. But we know this is not correct. We know this is not correct because it only has the first action in the diagram. And all IDs are the same. Oh, goodness. I don't want to touch the parser before I figure out the types, so I think I'll have to provide these diagrams not as strings, but as fleshed out type values. This is fun. But it's okay. Yeah, all of these are of type, these are all of ID -1, so they will all overwrite each other. But we can do a different exercise. All we need is very simple list of actions. Okay. Yeah, as expected, toMap works. And yet it doesn't. Because we only go through this list. We don't iterate, well, we don't go into the recursive fork. Okay, so let's take it easy today. Let's just leave a note that we will have to also convert this to map. Sorry, extract. All right. Mind map. Right now we don't do that. Okay, so it looks like we're in the middle of a pretty significant refactoring, and I wouldn't blame anybody who loses the plot at this stage, but what I'm trying to achieve now is to extract, well, translate these skewer blocks into a readable, easy to use lookup, like skewer block ID skewer block, so that we can render these additional connections using that lookup. After we have that lookup, we need to restructure how this function works so that it accepts both the drakon diagram and the positioned drakon diagram, and also the lookup for the additional connections. But that is to come. For today, I think we'll wrap it up here. So thank you very much for your attention today and for dialing in. I hope you have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.